Okay, so just when we thought the royal drama had taken its final bow, guess who hits the stage again like it's season 8 of Royal Madness? Meghan Markle, people, and this time it's not a podcast rant or a bombshell Oprah sit-down. No, it's what she did that's got the palace in full damage control. And I'm talking full-on whispers in the corridor, head-shaking, jaw-dropping chaos. Now listen to this. Meghan's behavior around Prince William, let's just say it had palace aides choking on their tea. We're not talking about some polite pat on the shoulder here or a quick wave across the hallway. She was hugging him, not once, not twice, like every single time they were in the same room. Big, long, awkward hugs. The kind of hug where everyone else just stops, stares, and wonders what in the actual royal hell is going on. And William, he was uncomfortable. You could see it. Not because he hates her. It's not even like that. It's because he knows the deal. He's the future king, married, watched like a hawk. Cameras, press, staff. Everyone sees everything. And here's his brother's wife clinging onto him like they're in some rom-com reunion scene. Let's be real. That's not just weird. That's dangerous optics. The kind that scream flirting. Yep, palace insiders were whispering the F word. Imagine being in William's shoes. Every public appearance potentially turning into a tabloid headline just because your sister-in-law won't keep her arms to herself. And it gets worse. Even after being told to chill it out, you'd think Meghan would read the room, right? Nope. She just kept going. The hugs didn't stop. The extra-wide smiles? Still there. It was like she wanted to be noticed. Or, dare we say it, like she knew exactly what she was doing. And guess who got caught in the middle of this royal tension tornado? Poor Harry, stuck between his brother who's clearly fed up and his wife who's hugging like it's going out of style. But did Harry step in? Oh no, honey. He backed Meghan. Because of course he did. Even though everyone could see it. The whole situation was giving something's not right vibes. But wait, that's just the first chapter. You haven't heard about the house drama. Oh yes, apparently Meghan wasn't just overdoing it with William. She was also completely disgusted with the house she and Harry were given. You know, Nottingham Cottage. A literal royal cottage on the palace grounds. Most people would be thrilled. Not Meghan. She walked in and went, "Is this a joke?" She hated it. Said the ceilings were too low, the place was too small, and that it felt like an insult, a passive-aggressive slap from the royal family. Like, how dare they give a prince and his American duchess such a plain little house? She reportedly called it belittling. That's right, a home with history, charm, and royal ties was beneath her. Never mind that William and Kate lived there before. And William's taller than Harry, mind you. They never once complained. But Meghan, she made it sound like they were living in a shoebox. And just when you think she might be grateful for the upgrade, oh no, she wanted Frogmore House. Big difference. But what she got instead was Frogmore Cottage. And guess what? That wasn't good enough either. Then she asked for Windsor Castle. And when Queen Elizabeth turned her down, because duh, that's the Queen's home, Meghan apparently took it personally, like it was some personal attack. It wasn't about real estate anymore. It was about ego, about status, about Meghan believing the royal family was deliberately trying to make her feel unimportant. Suddenly, every room, every ceiling, every square foot was a symbol of rejection, and this bitterness just bled into everything. The hugs, the tension with William, the sulking. Meghan wasn't just clashing with royal tradition, she was at war with it. Okay, now let's talk about the real battlefield. Protocol. Meghan didn't just break royal rules, she smashed them with a sledgehammer. You see, British royals are all about subtlety, composure, appearances, everything is calculated, but Meghan, she came in like a California tornado. She expected heart-to-hearts and hugging at state dinners. She wanted glitz, glam, and red carpet vibes, but this wasn't Hollywood. This was Buckingham Palace, where even smiles have rules. And yet Meghan kept being physically affectionate in formal royal settings. Too affectionate. A hand on the back here, a cheek kiss there, and of course, more of those long, uncomfortable hugs. William was visibly uncomfortable, but Meghan, she just kept doing it, almost like she was testing boundaries, or maybe proving she didn't care about them. People tried to chalk it up to cultural differences, but behind the scenes, insiders were done making excuses. She wasn't just breaking rules, she was bulldozing through them. Now here's where the glitz turns into grit, the money. Because let's be honest, if you're living like A-list royalty, someone's gotta foot the bill. And surprise, the Markle Mountbatten piggy bank, not as full as it looked. At first, Meghan and Harry had the world at their feet. Multi-million-dollar deals from Netflix, Spotify, a podcast empire in the works, and it was like Meghan had finally carved out her Hollywood 2.0 dream. Big plans, big ambitions, big promises. But then, boom, it all started to crumble. Spotify dropped them like a hot scone. Their big content dreams? Too slow, too messy, and apparently, too demanding. Behind the scenes, producers and teams were whispering about how difficult the Sussexes were to work with. We're talking delays, diva behavior, last-minute changes, the whole chaos cocktail. Everyone was excited until they actually started working with them. So what happens when the big checks stop rolling in but the luxury lifestyle doesn't? Well, Harry tapped into his inheritance from Diana, and more recently he accessed a $16 million trust from the Queen Mother. Sounds like a lot, right? But hang on, when you break it down, their mortgage alone is around $715,000 a year. Staff costs? Roughly $370,000. And security? Oh, just $5 million annually. Yes, 5 million. And then there's Harry's legal drama. Ongoing lawsuits piling up legal fees in the millions. Some he's already lost. Others, still bleeding money. It doesn't take a financial analyst to figure out that even royal trust funds dry up eventually. And suddenly, people started whispering the question nobody dared ask before. Are Meghan and Harry running out of money? Worse, there's no blockbuster project in sight, no book deal, no new show, no mega interview, just a lavish Montecito mansion and no clear plan to keep the lights on. And that's when the whispers started turning into full-blown speculation. With the spotlight dimming, Meghan and Harry seemed to look back toward the palace, the very institution they torched on the way out. Suddenly, there were rumors of a royal comeback, not because they missed the family, no, because they needed the stability, the structure, the cash flow. One big clue? Harry recently tried to share his calendar with the royal family, supposedly to avoid event conflicts. But to insiders, it read like a desperate olive branch, like he was throwing up a white flag, hoping someone, anyone, would invite him back into the fold. But the problem, no one's waiting with open arms, not after everything that's happened. Meghan's reputation inside the palace, still radioactive. The staff, still carrying the scars. There's even a nickname, the Sussex Survivor Club, for the employees who worked under Meghan and lived to tell the tale. According to multiple sources, some staff were left emotionally drained, some even described feeling psychologically fragile after their time with her. And it didn't end when they left. Some said they were terrified she'd retaliate if they ever spoke up. That's not just bad press, as that's trauma. These weren't tabloid rumors. These were people who lived it, and they're not laughing it off. Even now, Meghan's team tries to spin it, calling it old gossip, saying she was misunderstood, targeted by the press. But if she was the victim, why did so many people working for her feel like they were walking on eggshells? Let's rewind a bit to when Meghan first stepped into the royal world. People loved her. A biracial American actress marrying a British prince? It was like something out of a Hallmark movie. Crowds were thrilled. The media was obsessed, in a good way. She was fresh, modern, charming. People wanted her to win. But slowly, things started to crack. First, it was an off comment in an interview. Then a passive-aggressive moment at an event, then staff complaints, then whispers about diva behavior. It was like watching a slow-motion unraveling. And here's the twist that stung the most. It wasn't just the complaints, it was the entitlement behind them. Meghan didn't just want to fit in, she wanted the spotlight. She wanted to be Diana 2.0, but on her own terms. No traditions, no compromises, just applause. When that didn't happen, she flipped the script. Blamed the media, blamed the family, blamed the staff. Everyone was the villain, except her. Because here's the truth no one wanted to say out loud. Meghan didn't just leave the royal family. She set fire to the entire bridge on her way out. And now that the smoke is clearing, no one's rushing to build her a new one. So here we are. No headlines, no Netflix boom, just a couple in Montecito watching their empire slowly unravel. And behind that gated mansion, Meghan's probably wondering how it all flipped. From adored duchess to royal rebel, from global icon to tabloid cautionary tale. And where does she go from here? That's the million-dollar question. One that no PR team, no Oprah interview, no hug from William can answer anymore. Because fairy tales need more than glitter. They need humility, grace, and a little less camera time. And Meghan? Well, she might have mistaken the palace for a stage, but the curtain's fallen. And this time, there's no encore.